I was thinking this morning, I think it's a fascinating phenomenon. We all spend about 40 years, I think, training our minds to be a high performance engine, like in a Corvette or a Ferrari. Then we expect to just turn the key and have the engine stop the minute we retire. Here's what I found out. My engine, my engine keeps idling at about 5,000 RPMs. The only problem is it's stuck in a quiet garage. It needs some space. What I'm talking about here is what I call the habit of hustle. And it's the challenge that a lot of us face. In our work world, our biggest strength is our ability to get things done. And now that we're retired, that could be one of our biggest challenges. Let me give you an example. I spoke with a friend, Harvey, a few weeks ago, and his story was the perfect mirror for almost all of us. Harvey was successful. He was a really successful, hardworking business owner, independent business owner, and for years his brain was wired to just constantly solve problems, not necessarily his own, but problems for other people. That was the basis of his business. But when he retired, Harvey thought he was going to relax, but within a month, well, maybe even less than that, Harvey said that he was managing his household as if he were a CEO of a business. He was making daily task lists for himself, task lists for his wife, task lists for his grown kids that weren't even living at home anymore. And he was tracking his investment trends. And, he said here's what he said. I'm going to try to, I think this is probably pretty much a quote from Harvey. I think this is what he said. Harvey said, I thought I was relaxing. But really what I was doing was I was replacing the stress management that I had at work with management-like or mirage-like stress of retirement. You see, Harvey fell into that trap of confusing being busy with doing things that had meaning. He brought his hustle into his retirement, his time where everything was supposed to be peaceful. So why is it hard for those of us that are familiar with working hard and getting things done? Why is it hard for us to just change things? And I think it's because it's our identity. I went and did a little bit of research. Here's what I found out. There's such a thing called the dopamine loop. And what that means for those of us that have been in business, it means that we're addicted to the win of looking at our to-do list and just crossing things off. We're addicted to that habit. Second thing I think we're addicted to, I think we're addicted to we're afraid of being in a state of silence. If we aren't doing something, we're worried about losing our value. We've got to be doing something to have a personal sense of value. And then the last thing is, I think what happens is we all fall into a muscle memory thing. Our brain is a muscle. And it's used to lifting heavy weights at work. It's used to getting things done. It doesn't know how to just relax and calm down and enjoy life. So if you're kind of like me, if you're kind of like Harvey, how do you break these habits? How do you get rid of those things? And I'm not saying I've accomplished this yet, but I am saying that I recognize these are the things that I think I need to do. And I'm going to suggest that you look at them and consider the same. The first one, redefine productivity. I mean, in our job, being productive means we were producing, we had output, we were getting things done. But in retirement, productivity has nothing to do with being productive. I think it has more to do with being just in the present. Let me give you an example. I think a productive day now might be a 2-hour lunch with a friend, or maybe, with your wife or with your spouse, or maybe just sitting down and finishing a book you've always said you were going to read. If it nourishes your soul, then I think should be considered productive. So that's number one. Number two, I think I want to create, or I've tried to create what I call a slow morning protocol. My mornings, 5:30 and the alarm clock goes off and I'm up and running. But now that I'm retired, I still feel that urge to hustle. I feel the urge to hit the floor. You know, my normal body clock makes me wake up now around 6:30, 6:45. But breaking the habit of jumping out of bed and getting task lists started and getting things done, I don't want to jump out of bed and go check the stock market or watch the news or jump in and read my emails. I want to spend the first part of my day maybe going outside, walking out to the barn, taking a look at the horses, or maybe going down to the creek and seeing what's going on down there, and just relaxing. Maybe getting a cup of coffee and just stepping outside and doing something that really has no purpose whatsoever. It's that slow morning, and I just call that a slow morning protocol. The third thing I'm trying to accomplish for myself, I'm trying to become a mentor. You see, sometimes I think those of us that have been in positions of responsibility, we just need a place to put that energy. And instead of micromanaging my household and everything I need Deb to do, I want to find something different. I want to put the hustle into something where it's actually needed, so my home can remain quiet and peaceful and sanctuary. That's what I want to do. Let me wrap this up by saying this. Retirement for me, I know, is not the end of why I'm valuable. It's not the end of my value. It's the beginning of my freedom so that I can express and decide what I consider to be valuable. I don't want to let my old habits of my past, steal the presence of my retirement. Like Harvey, like he hopefully has learned by now, that real fulfillment, I think, comes when we finally learn to engage with rest, with what's important. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you felt the habit of hustle lately, I think that's pretty normal. Drop me a comment down below. Tell me what you're doing, maybe to learning how to slow down, and that certainly could help other people. Okay, so hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye now.